22, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Jags and the Panthers, and it's coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is in uptown Charlotte, North Carolina at Bank of America Stadium. Just a few moments ago, this building was shaking as the Carolina Panthers emerge from the tunnel here in Charlotte. They are ready to go as the Panthers are set to match up with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they enter play here. They come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. Meanwhile, for the visiting Jaguars, they come in on a good run, winners of 5 of their last 7.
And going back through the tape, I thought they looked pretty good last week. It was a solid win, a comprehensive win.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. Taken at the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They're led by the #1 overall pick in the 2021 draft, Trevor Lawrence.
We both know it's a league where they seemingly throw the ball just about every play. But watching him perform last week where he threw 3 touchdown passes still caught my eye in a big way.
Still kind of the gold standard, 3 touchdown passes, isn't it? And for his efforts last week, AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I can't wait to see what he does this week.
First carry for the Clemson man, Travis Etienne. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down. The numbers on the ground for Etienne last week. 18 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown. They go play action with Lawrence.
Well, watching the film, we saw that things clicked pretty well for them in the running game last week. No reason to change in my mind. Continue to try and run the football. Give it to them early and often in hopes of breaking down the defense so some bigger gains result as the game goes on.
They'll run with Etienne. And trying to shake free, but Etienne cannot. The defense will stop him short. No gain on the play there. Nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Now it appears we're going to get whistles and a stop. A man down on the return. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. They run with McCaffrey off the option. The numbers for McCaffrey last week. 10 carries, 51 yards, and a touchdown.
And, partner, I thought it was a lot of fun for us to be able to sit in on their film session with the offensive line. We saw how they blocked it up last week to pretty good success, and we see what their game plan is for this week. They expect that defensive front to be someone they can move.
And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line. I certainly know that I, for one, would not like to be on the other end of a tackle when this guy's coming at you full speed from his strong safety spot. Boy, that was a nice play. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line.
Each team has its own terminology. Some people call it jumbo, some call it monster, some call it king. But it doesn't really matter. They brought in a big lumber to pick up that first down.
Yeah, you think about goal line defense with the goal line offense that time getting it done. Back to the ground on 1st. It's McCaffrey. Able to shake free for about 7 up to the 35. Well, this defense for the Jaguars, they really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
And what keyed their victory? The pass rush. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks, and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well. Hard to throw the ball downfield when all you're seeing is opposing jerseys come at you.
That's a nice explosive play there, and this defense told us we have to have our eyes right on their RPO sets, and they did not have their eyes right.
I love that term, eyes right, meaning they have to be in the proper place and read your keys. And the smart thinking guy running an offense can see when you break down on that, and he took full advantage of it.
Andre Cisco there on the stop. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
47 yards rushing for him now. He's carried the ball just 5 times. A couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? I mean, let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? 5 or more yards each time. That's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now whistles here, and it looks like we've got a Panther that's difficulty down there getting up. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone, and there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And that one, my goodness, that was almost too easy.
Yeah, you're not going to have too many attempts shorter than that one, and I don't think this was blocked. That's about as bad a miss as you can have.
So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the 2nd time here in this game. They currently sit 1 game over 500 thanks to their victory a week ago. Yeah, Charles, they've been really an up-and-down team all year. Do you think that they have enough to get into the playoffs?
Well, you did mention they've been up and down all year, so to me, it depends on what week you catch them. When they're at their best, I think they're definitely playoff-worthy. But to me, they haven't been able to bring the intensity week in and week out, and that could be their Achilles heel.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Play action. It's Lawrence. He'll air this one out for Kirk. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. A big connection on that one. 38 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Touchdown! That's caught. Travis Etienne, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Jags have taken the early lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover it? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. We'll check on his status when we get back. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. 4-4 their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say? And now a fumble. The ball's out, and the Jags grab it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. There are 2 words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S, ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. And now following that last play, I do believe we're going to get a review here. Yes, indeed, the red flag is out. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So an early challenge, and you know that those coaches hate to use those red flags too early, but this one turns out to be successful. Extra point up and good by Suckup. It's now 14-0. Suckup now set to kick it off following the made field goal. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And they are back down to 500 following the loss last week. Consistency has been a real issue for them so far.
Brandon, you almost don't know what team is going to show up every week. I mean, there's no consistency with this ball club at all, and if we feel that way, I know it frustrates the coaching staff, and it also has to frustrate the key leaders in the locker room. They got to figure out how to get coordinated.
Foyesade Aluakan made the tackle there from his safety position. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you.
Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. We had their game last week where they had 6 sacks, so a little bit more momentum here again in the first quarter.
And last week it appeared that they were coming out of sprinters blocks, chasing the quarterback. So how do they continue that? How do they keep making it happen? Different looks, different disguises, different angles that they chase him.
They were so disruptive last week. We'll see what the trend is here as we go forward. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's got his tight end. It's Tommy Tremble. They do get 18, but even that won't be quite enough. It's 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Johnny Hecker to punt it away. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. And now out come the Jags. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Lawrence. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line.
More of the same right here. This first quarter has been a delight for them. Another big pickup through the air. And right now, they're looking to drop the big elbow here in the first quarter.
A handoff for Etienne. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. A shotgun snap and a give to Etienne. Oh, he breaks a tackle, and he's got an alley. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Well, that is a running back who is not about to go down easily. He fought his way through the contact until the seas opened up for him.
Yeah, and this could be a sign of what this defense is in for, because, you know, all week long the coaches were preaching to the defense, you've got to be able to wrap up against a back like him or he can make you pay. Technique, technique, technique.
Now Lawrence on first down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
On second down, a run with Etienne. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Now Lawrence to throw. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. The Jags with the football to begin the second quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. A give to Etienne running right. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. On play action, Lawrence. Letting one go deep for the end zone. And that is incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Now a field goal try coming up here for the Jags. The wind is at his back here in the second quarter. Succop's kick is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Succop will put this one right through. And the lead now increases to 20-0. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers about set to go on offense. He's doing his thing. He's got some good yardage, but his team right now in the second quarter, 0 points.
Just not a complete formula. Half of it's there, being able to run the ball and set the tone. What if they may have to go to some play action, throw off the run game, and try and get the ball in the end zone?
I was just going to ask you that same thing. Maybe you use that run now to set up the pass, right?
I would think so, because the run has been very effective for them.
22 is coming, 22 is coming.
And he's not going to go anywhere as they get him down behind the line of scrimmage. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll drop to throw. There's Trimble, the tight end. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A signal for their 3rd and final timeout. as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Looking to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Andre Cisco. And the Jags are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
3 yards remain for 2nd down. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Toward the sideline, he will have the 1st down. Good catch. He was able to keep the feet in bounds. Throwing now, Lawrence on 1st down. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go.
No sense risking anything there on 1st down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who could make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
Oh, and now some space to operate. And he is finally going to be brought down, but not before he gets it to the Panthers' 7-yard line. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Jaguars out on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in a minute, but first, let's take a spin around the NFL and see what's going on here in week number 10. We'll get things started up at Ford Field in Detroit. And it's the Saints who have the lead in the 2nd quarter. Jameis Winston has thrown a touchdown pass. From Motown, we'll take the trip across Lake Erie to Cleveland to check in on the Browns at home at First Energy Stadium. And you can see there it's the visiting Colts who have the lead in that one. Michael Pittman, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And in that one, it's the visiting Dolphins who are out in front. Tyreek Hill, a touchdown reception. We continue on with the check of the next-gen stats in that first half for the Jags. And it's been the passing game that's been the story. They have feasted on this secondary to the tune of 200-plus yards already through 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Panthers, we check on their numbers on the ground in the first half, as they know they'll need to be better to overcome this halftime deficit. Each team making their final preparations for this second half. We're about ready, too, as we'll send you back up to Charlotte and rejoin.
Now ETN to start the drive. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. The Jaguars on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. Here it's 3rd and 3. On 3rd down, here's ETN. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. The possession of the football goes over to Carolina. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and makes sure he spills it for a small gain.
Escaping the pressure right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. Looked like a pretty smart decision that time to keep the football by the quarterback.
It was, because you saw how the runner got swarmed. So you've got to pull the ball from his arms, keep it yourself, and get what you can. And the most underrated player on this play is the running back. Because even if he doesn't have the ball, he has to act like he does in order to attract the defense. Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. Back to throw here. Shoves him aside. Busts through the tackle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there, because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. Second down and 3. From the shotgun to McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 76 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over.
And he takes it into the end zone for a Panthers touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Panthers have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. Extra point splits the uprights, and that cuts this lead down to 13. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Christian Kirk and company heading back onto the field. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. From the shotgun, Lawrence. Looking sideline, incomplete.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and get the football right back. Your friend, Old Momentum, he's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side, and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands.
Here's Logan Cook now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Carolina offense about ready to go. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news, but this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. They'll start by running the option to the right. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Give him 10 yards on the keeper, and it'll lead to a 2nd down. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Now, yes, a two-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a two-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
And now they're in the hurry-up. They'll look to throw here on first down. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey. That catch good for only a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. This pass going to be caught by Hardman. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. Third down, here's McCaffrey. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a first down. Now whistles here, and it looks like we've got a Panther that's having some difficulty down there getting up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. He's got it for a Panther touchdown. Christian McCaffrey with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Panthers have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. Well, we know he can run the ball. There he shows he has the ability to do a little bit more.
That's what you call a complete player. A guy who can run it, catch it, probably can protect the passer when necessary, but his skills are best used when you get the ball in his hands.
And that's the thing, when you've got an athlete like that, you want to get the ball to him in multiple ways, right?
Without a doubt, because he often creates mismatches about who can cover him, whether he's coming out of the backfield or even lining up like a receiver.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Jaguars offense ready to set up shop here again. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand new ball game. And now look at the situation. You got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have that full conversation with your offensive unit, and you tell them, here's the situation. They've got all of their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you've got another thing coming.
Yeah, and by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
And they'll throw on first down with Lawrence. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Lawrence. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. This a very important drive, and that incompletion leads to a very important 3rd down here if they're going to try and get the football back.
Yeah, getting it back, absolutely crucial to their chances to try and win this game. I would expect a lot of pressure here. They can't afford to let them continue to get first downs. They need to...
Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Here's Logan Cook now as he's on to punt for Jacksonville. They'll call that a 33-yard punt with no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So now the Panthers down 27-21. At time, a huge factor. They'll have 2 timeouts and, of course, also the 2-minute warning as they go to work on first down. And some space here. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 23 yards on the play. just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
Out to his left. And incomplete, he dropped it. Maybe a rookie mistake there, second down.
I know he was trying to get the completion downfield, but the way this game has gone, with a few of the runs he's made along the way, he should have kept the ball and taken it with his feet downfield. That's the big play that shreds a defense. Instead, he thought to himself, I'm a quarterback, I've got to throw it. He bailed out the defense with that incompletion.
So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Now left side, a completion to his tight end. 7 yards, the pick up there. The Panthers got to go quickly. They're moving with a sense of urgency right now. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. First down now, but the clock continues to move. They'll look to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice game. Counting down toward a minute to go in this football game. Back to the ground attack here. It's McCaffrey. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They come up on a 1st and goal and most likely 4-down territory. And he is in as they have tied it late here in the final minute of the 4th quarter. Now they can boot it through on the always important extra point, and then their defense has to hold up their end of the bargain.
And there's something that you've pointed out in numerous games that we've worked. Okay, the excitement's going on. Everyone's celebrating over there. Who's calling up the defense to make sure they're focused because they still have some work to do?
A very important extra point there, up and good, and that is going to put them on top by a point, and it sets us up for quite a finish. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you got a decision. Are you in field goal range or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. He's back to throw. And looking for Kirk, but this pass is intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it's a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
And onto the field, here come the Panthers. And still 2 timeouts defensively, but even if they choose to use those, 3 kneel downs should be enough to get out of here with a victory.
And that's exactly what's being stated into the head coach's headset. Oftentimes they have a guy upstairs who monitors this at the end of the game. Little clock management 101.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. Another run with McCaffrey on second down. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts as they get it with 16 seconds from the clock. This is McCaffrey on the give. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. So how about that comeback that we just witnessed going into the fourth quarter? I don't know that we had written them off, but it looked bleak. They were able to get it done.
They put up a barrage of points and reeling them in and running them down and winning it. Wouldn't you love to be in their locker room right now? Think about the energy that's radiating out of there right now. They're talking about belief, sticking together, and finding a way to win.
So for Carolina, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, it's a loss that'll drop them back to 500 through 10 games. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Tennessee Titans.